Welcome back to the Unlock Your Potential podcast. I'm Matt Faupel, founder of FaupelX, and this is where we get serious about commercial real estate leadership and execution. If you're a property manager or a CRE professional who wants to lead smarter, build trust faster, and scale with clarity, you're in the right place. Today's episode is especially for those of you that are new to your role or maybe leading a new team member in property management. Because let's be honest, property management is a crash course those first couple days and weeks. Nobody really gives you a manual of all the things you'll get to encounter. So in this episode, I'm going to walk you through the things I wish someone had told me when I was starting out. What matters, what you can skip, and how to start thinking like a true leader from day one. So let's get started. When you step into the PM role, here's what usually happens. You get handed a bunch of keys, you meet a bunch of people, and someone says, keep the building running. It sounds pretty simple until the fire panel starts going off in the middle of the night. A tenant wants you to play their therapist, an engineer, a security guard, of course, all at the same time. And your budget review hits and you realize that the budget does not manage itself. No one tells you just how fast this role gets real. You're not just in operations, you're managing a multi-million-dollar asset that affects hundreds of people's lives every day. And your decisions ripple across finance, safety, compliance, and service for all of those people. Commercial property management isn't just about upkeep, it's the intersection of physical systems, financial performance, human relationships, regulatory risk, and strategic decisions. The way to think about it is your building is a business, and there's a couple of frameworks that I wish I would have had earlier in my career to keep things going smoothly. Protect the asset. HVAC, fire systems, roofs, pumps, elevators. Know what these building systems and equipment are and how they work. Serve the tenants. Retention is a key metric. The lease may be an agreement, but experience is what earns the renewals. Control the budget. Understand income, CAM expenses, utility trends, vendor contracts. Numbers are going to be your scorecard as a property manager. Manage risk, compliance, ADA, OSHA, insurance. This is where true leadership really shows up. And communicate relentlessly. Tenants, engineers, vendors, ownership, your calendar and inbox are your cockpit as you are the pilot for the property. And if you don't understand how money, systems, and people flow through that property, you're going to be flying in the blind. So as I look back, one of the moments I remember where it clicked for me is thinking that the building isn't an enemy, but it's not going to cut you any slack either. Things like HVAC, you need to learn and understand air handlers, VAVs, seasonal changeovers, and controls. HVAC is going to be your number one comfort provider and an energy expense driver. Your fire panels, again, they're not your enemy, but they're not open to guesswork. You need to know who to call and make sure these things are getting inspected regularly through walkthroughs and tests. Elevators, modernization projects do not happen overnight. You need to plan potentially years ahead and justify these large expenses with lots of data. Waterproofing, you may not think about caulking, flashing, or drains while you're walking around doing your building walkthroughs, but you will know about them when those systems fail. Prevention is one of the best things to beat a disaster. Building automation systems. You don't have to be an engineer as a property manager, but you and your team do need to be able to understand and pull reports and verify temperatures or set points in your BAS system. Now, there's a lot of terminology that gets thrown at you those first days and weeks. So here's a quick rundown on some of the words and key terms that will help you sound like you know what you're doing. R&M, repair and maintenance. CapEx, capital expenditures. TI, tenant improvements. CAM, common area maintenance. Punch list, final checklist after construction. BMS, BAS, Building Management Automation System. LOI, Letter of Intent. As-built, final construction drawings. MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. SOP, standard operating procedures. Core and shell, the raw building infrastructure. Gross versus net rent, who's paying what. Change order, change to construction scope, budget, or timing on a project. COI, certificate of insurance. FLS, fire life safety. A work order, a service request. These are things feel free to take a look at the Unlock Your Potential article on LinkedIn. This is something that we have a much longer list on, and it's something handy you can take a screenshot of, print out, have it by your desk, or easy access. There is a ton of terms as you're getting into property management, and believe me, there's more than one I had to look up more than one time. Now, as I look back, I did come up with some tactical advice that I would give my past self as I got started in property management. Something that you need to build as a habit from the beginning is walk the building routinely. Get your eyes on everything. Don't manage from your office. You need to understand the pulse of the building, what's going on, and who's involved. Shadow your engineer. Ask silly questions. Watch how they troubleshoot things. Their information about how the building works is pure gold. Don't assume anything. Always verify insurance, permits, warranties, vendor history. Make sure to check the paperwork yourself. Document everything. Take photos, write notes, maybe even log phone calls on bigger projects. Paper trails will be very important and potentially save you from problems down the road. Vendors reflect your standard as a property manager. Don't just hope they do good work. Inspect it, coach them, and hold them accountable to what was agreed upon. These small habits, if you start from day one, are going to build your reputation before you even get presented with the budget. This is a great way to set a strong precedence from the beginning. A couple other mind shifts I would highly encourage you to take note of is that preventive maintenance is the key to success. Deferred maintenance equals surprise capital expenses down the road. Please keep in mind, it's better to stay ahead and not be behind when it comes to preventive maintenance. Budgets are stories. Every number tells a story, what's changing, what's working, what's the plan for next time. Safety is professionalism. From tests and drills and inspections, these aren't just legal requirements. These are things that build trust with tenants, ownership, and your team. And relationships are your leverage. From everyone on your team to the tenants, engineers, janitors, brokers, the mailman, your operations team is bigger than just who's on the payroll. You need to lead by example and build those relationships from day one. So if you're serious about leveling up and you're in your first year, your first 90 days, here are some things you can take note of to start working through, some goals to set for yourself. Take time to walk every mechanical room on the property and walk them with your engineer. Ask questions about things you don't understand. If things aren't labeled, ask for them to be labeled for easy and quick reference during an emergency. And speaking of emergency, review the emergency plan if there is one. Does this reflect the current staff, the current needs? Are these plans accurate? Has there been any renovations or changes to the infrastructure or the design of the property? Talk to your engineers and your maintenance team. Is there anything that they wish the property manager knew? Is there any new preventive maintenance steps that need to be updated on an SOP? They'll have plenty of insights and be more accurate than any paperwork that you may find in a drawer somewhere. Study your lease language. Understand what the expectations are, what's been agreed upon, and what the timelines are. And lastly, I highly encourage in that first 90 days, especially within that first year, is to identify things, building equipment, building systems, services that you don't understand, and schedule a walkthrough with that vendor for them to explain how this works, what they're servicing, what the life expectancy is of the equipment, what is the upkeep and preventive maintenance look like. If you don't understand something and you're paying someone to take care of it, they should be more than happy to walk with you to explain those things. And your knowledge is going to compound over your career. So the sooner you start learning, understanding building equipment, systems, best practices, the faster you're going to grow, the faster your team will be set up for success. Property management might feel like a blur your first year, but in that chaos is where leaders are forged. If you can take a step back, ask questions, build strong systems, and show up every day with intention, you're not just going to survive, you will thrive. Because you're not just going to be managing work orders, you're managing risk, revenue, relationships, and reputation all at once. This is the job that sets the foundation for your entire CRE career, so treat it like an opportunity that it is. That's a wrap on today's episode of Unlock Your Potential. If this episode gave you some clarity on some best practices, do me a favor and share it with someone new in commercial real estate. There's a much more in-depth version of this topic on the Unlock Your Potential newsletter on LinkedIn. And if you have time, check out fallpelx.com and try using CRE Pro on ChatGPT for some of these questions. It has been a huge resource for looking up building equipment, building systems, walking through leadership and professional development opportunities. I highly recommend checking out those tools as well. Until next time, keep going.